Today, I want to share with you the top articles that I chose to read from Google, from google.com up. They have suggestions every day, so I scroll through and I choose something that seems interesting to me to see what I can learn and how I can improve myself. So the three articles will be linked in the description if you want to read them. And the first one is How to Be a Better Communicator by Forbes. The second is, does rote memorization actually help us learn new things? And that's from Valley Mind. And the third one is, if someone displays these 10 traits, they are really smart and competent uh, person, from hackspirit.com. So let's go to the first one. The first one is How to Be a Better Communicator by Forbes. And that is based on Jonathan Bias' opinion. I hope I said his name right. And he is a founder of Elite Speech Coaching, where they teach people how to talk and how to do all these speeches and feel confident. So the article starts with glossophobia, which is the fear of speaking publicly. And he suggests that, Mr. Bias suggests that this is a belief of many people that when they have to speak publicly, they have to assume a new persona. They have to be someone different than from who they are. And that's a very big problem. He suggests that if you want to improve your speech and your way of speaking, especially publicly or just personally, you have to start with simple things like ordering a coffee or talking to a cashier, and that will help you improve. So his suggestions are to embrace an uncomfortable speaking environment. Put yourself in a place where you feel uncomfortable, and that can be talking to strangers or maybe karaoke. Who doesn't like karaoke? The idea is to push yourself so beyond your comfort zone that will make you learn new things. Um, Second is practice and participation, and that means that you actively seeking things where you can participate or you can practice. For example, you're at a meeting, you can raise your hand and say what do you want to say, an idea, an opinion, or you are maybe somewhere else and you overhear something, you can step in if it's appropriate. And that way you'll start to help yourself not to be afraid, and also you'll see where you need to improve. And number three, my favorite, read everything you can, because when we read, we can learn new words, we can see how people actually put some points in different ways by using some words, by using a manner of talking. So when you read, you actually learn a lot. Article number two. Does rote memorization actually help us to learn new things? And that's from valleymind.com. So rote memorization is when you actually repeat so many times the same thing until you actually remember it, like the alphabet. And anything can be memorized by repetition, um, like history facts, like math formulas, maybe multiplication table, and so on. This simply means that you're and repeating it until you memorize it. Dr. Aldrich Chan, who is a neuropsychologist, says that rote memorization is a great tool to prepare for exams or for something that is going to happen like very soon. But what it doesn't mean is that you are memorizing it, but doesn't necessarily understand it or don't necessarily know what the topic is about. So he says that rote memorization will help know and recite the facts or information without truly comprehending the meaning or significance. So benefits of rote memorization is easy to access information, efficiency, like because you already know it, you don't have to really concentrate and do any mental work or effort to access the frequently used data. And your mind is engaged, so it's better than nothing. And preserving the culture. And this, he says, to think about the time when people couldn't write. So everything was passed on from generation to generation by retelling the same stories. Disadvantages of rote memorization is like lack of retention. So when you memorize everything by repeating to prepare for a test or for something that's very right now or tomorrow, your brain doesn't necessarily remember it in the long term, because if you don't use that information, it's going to go away. Number two, shallow understanding, which, as I said, it means that you're not going to have deep understanding on the subject. And the third is that it doesn't benefit your mind very well, because you are memorizing instead of using your critical thinking and problem solving skills. Mm, Number three, the article number three. If someone displays these 10 traits, they are really smart and competent person, hackspirit.com. So it says that number one, they are lifelong learners. So they actively seek for stuff to learn. It's not like they wait to learn here and there, but they are curious and they intentionally learn about a subject. Number two, emotionally intelligent. So that means that they're able to understand and recognize when people have emotions, and they can manage their own emotions and someone else's emotions. Problem solvers. So they see problems actually as challenges that need to be finished or conquered, and not necessarily as setbacks completely. And open mindedness. They are able to consider different viewpoints, not only their own. So it can be a heated situation or any other situation. They will listen to the other point of view and see maybe what it says, the other person says, can be applied to his knowledge or her knowledge already, or maybe it could be a point they never considered. Number five, empathic attitude. So they're basically very active learners and not learners, listeners, and they can understand when someone needs some help just by sensing it. Number six, they're adaptable, so they can quickly adapt to any situation or environment. Number seven is self-reflective, as I said and one of my videos, self-awareness before. They set time aside to understand themselves, and they do that by meditating, journaling, or just quiet time where they can think, reflect, and see why they react, or use some words, or how was it better to act, or was it the best idea to do this or that. Number eight, critical thinkers. So they analyze and evaluate everything before they actually form an opinion. So, for example, if they are given a subject, or maybe some news, or maybe some ideas, they don't necessarily start to believe in it. They start to think and maybe dig some more information in order to understand better. And I would say here that when this type of people, also when they don't know something, they don't have a hard time saying, I don't know this, but I'll look into this. So it's not like they have to prove that they know everything. And they are strong communicators, and that means not necessarily that they are speaking in public or in groups. What it means that when they talk, they use clear, concise, and thoughtful words. Like they will be their idea is not to make someone feel bad, or to prove someone wrong. It's mostly like they will prefer to be quiet instead of saying something, excuse me, that they would regret. And number 10 is perseverance. So despite all the odds, or like headbacks or any failures, they don't give up. They look for ways to improve and actually get to the goal. So these were very nice articles for me. I really liked it. I liked the ideas how I can improve talking publicly. I liked the idea of actually searching actively for data. And I like the idea that I can retain facts as I need them, but digging deeper will help me improve my critical thinking, and will help me make better decisions. I hope you enjoyed it.